So there it is. Apple AR, the Vision Pro presentation has finished. $3,500 for Apple's foray into AR. I'm going to make this really simple for you. Really simple. For everyone out there, the companies, you're listening to me as well. I am not interested, and I really don't think this will catch on in any sort of mass adoption type of way until you get them to the size of cataract glasses. You know those vision glasses that you need after you have laser surgery or something, procedure done with your eyes, and they give you those big goggle type glasses? That is the limit on size that I think people will accept and adopt as far as AR is concerned. Here's another thing that threw me off, because they had that bit where you could see the eyes of the person. Yeah, that's great. Until these devices or whatever the glasses are pass through, meaning when it's off, I could still see through it, then I'm also not interested. I don't think it's going to catch on, because it is basically a VR headset that you're lugging around on your head, that when there's no power and it's off, it's just this big thing that you have to carry around. That is not it. I was excited because when I first saw it, I saw the person's eyes. I thought there was some transparency there that you could see through. But that wouldn't make sense, obviously, with the way that they have the display set up. And then when you see the way they have those postage stamp 4K plus displays that actually project the images onto your eyes, then it kind of made sense to me that it's just basically video cameras that's then projecting the image of your surroundings back inside of the goggles. And then you have a camera inside projecting your eyes back out onto an external. It was a big workaround. It's cool. I like where it'll eventually go. The first generation of something is always going to be sloppy. It's always the first one through the wall that gets beat up. As far as Apple's concerned, I like the way that they've done the software stuff. I do believe that that's stuff that will carry forward and that they could use in the future on smaller devices. I like the way that they do the spatial stuff. I like the fact that you can put apps forward and backwards in your vision in case it's too close or something like that. I hope that there's some sort of mitigation for people who are VR sensitive. I get VR sickness, so I can't use these headsets and stuff like that. So that's why I was hoping it was one that allowed kind of pass through light and environment, because I think that, to me, is going to be what helps with kind of that AR or VR sickness, kind of keeping your surroundings, your awareness of your surroundings, and helping your inner ear. That, to me, is really the big problem. It's going to help out. But I think the adoption bit, while all the tech is really cool and it seems really neat, it's not going to be a viable product, especially for that amount of money. I love what they did at the end. They're like, well, you need a computer, you need a television, you need a phone. All this stuff costs money. If you add it together, you got this. Yeah, what is that? Man, why not? $3,500. You still save money, especially if you're buying a Mac Pro. You can get two of them for the price of the Mac, $7,000 Mac Pro. It's cool. I like the fact that they're already working on the software. I like the fact that they're already working on certain implementations. I like the fact that they consider people with glasses, that they got those prescription lenses or whatever that can adapt to the vision and how close you need it to your eyes and stuff like that. That's all really cool stuff. But just from a realistic standpoint, to take it out of the realm of a tech gadget / toy and into something that's going to get mass adoption, and you see people walking around with them in the streets. Number one, you need longer than 2 hours of screen on time when you're away from a wall. That's something that you're going to need a little bit more of. Not going to be carrying around a huge pocket battery in your pocket either, that cord going down to whatever, a 20,000 milliamp hour battery, whatever it happens to be. Needs to be away from that. I don't know how you work out the tech on that. But until they get to the size of those light sensitivity goggles that you get at the doctor, at the eye doctor, when they get to that size and that functionality, and I can see through them when they're off, then you'll have something. Until then, keep working. Keep working, because this is the beta test. All these people that beta test all the software and these developer kits and stuff like that come out now, and the gaming and stuff and all the television stuff and the visual stuff that they could do, Disney 100, whatever they're calling it. That's great, and it's all testing for when it actually gets down to a point where the regular consumer is going to want it and use it. And you can mark my words on this, because I am sure technology changes. All this stuff changes all the time. People do not change. Until it gets less cumbersome than those glasses on your head, you're not going to want to carry it around, and people are going to want to use it. You don't want to be tethered to an outlet. You don't want to be whatever. The Game Gear was really cool back in the day, but you were tethered to your outlet, right? You needed those 6 AA batteries that last about an hour. So that's why people had trouble. The Game Boy, simple, you could take it with you, and those AA batteries lasted I don't know how many hours. So it's fancy, it's nice, but a lot of work to be done. First generation, going to give a pass on that. It was elegantly done, at least for the technology and what they had on hand, the software solutions that they need to come up with for Vision OS, and the different stuff that was already out there for AR. I do think the Apple implementation is the best so far, but being the best so far of a category that's half-baked and really not ready for prime time to begin with, is it really going to cut it? And certainly you should not part with your $3,500 when it comes out next year, because they're making you wait for it. It's like the original iPhone. You wait 6 months for it. They announce it, and then, well, next year you could get it. It's cool. If you have unlimited amounts of money to spare and you just want to blow it on it to try it out, then go ahead. It's like Google Glass. You spend your $2,000 and the thing isn't working or whatever. But I do believe with this, the difference between this and Google Glass is that Apple's committed to this. They spend a lot of time on these projects. They're not like Google, who is prone to just kind of dropping stuff like solely like Google Glass. Go down the line of technologies that they started with and then decided, we don't want to do that anymore. Apple waited on watches. They stuck with the watches. Apple waited on stuff, the iPod, whatever it is. Whatever they happen to finally get into, for the most part, they're going to stick with it. So Vision OS and these AR headsets for Apple now are here to stay unless they're a giant disaster. And I don't think there are going to be such a thing as a giant disaster for a first-generation product that really isn't going to be designed for success anyway. It's cool. Can't wait to see where it goes. Can't wait for the technology to improve to the point where it shrinks down to something you'd absolutely want to wear on your head. That's going to be the biggest thing. It comes down to practicality. It comes down to battery life. It comes down to just carrying it around, as long as it's not a burden. It can't be intrusive into your daily life. That's what the difference is between a lot of these technologies that take hold and the ones that don't. You can't have to go out of your way to have it be part of your day. You can't just have to consciously think about, what am I going to do? Am I going to bring the battery pack? Or did I charge the battery pack? No. It needs to be on your desk next to you, on your dresser next to you when you're sleeping at night, your nightstand, to pick up, get ready to go, just like your phone is. If you could have your phone next to your AR glasses, and they're just as simple to use, and they're just as simple to incorporate into your life, then you'll have something that actually makes a difference. But until then, it's a fancy toy. If you've made it this far, like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Until next time, have that Steve-licious day.